Hey guys, welcome back to Nations and Nobles, and yeah, I know. I titled the last episode as the finale, but I mean technically this isn't an actual episode. This is just a world tour. And I say just, but I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the video that I've been the most nervous about, because I want to do it justice, if that makes any sense. Probably not, but in any case, I don't even really know where to begin, which is partially why I've been putting it off. But you know what, I'm just gonna land somewhere, and that's where I'm gonna start. So it looks like my brain's just going for Ori's old dirt house. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Ori had a tendency to kind of like roast her own house and be like, it's just a dirt house. I think you can actually hear something along those lines in episode 1.5. But I will be honest with you, I've always had the idea of making a dirt house look good. And Ori just like did that to a T. I mean, look at this. It's just like a perfect blend of like nature and like also fantasy inspirations. At least I think that's what it's supposed to be. If it's not, I'm sorry. But I mean, that kind of makes sense because this entire spawn is kind of fantasy inspired, to at least to a certain degree. I specifically remember before like a lot of this was even here. Again, in episode 1.5, I believe there was like a dark oak tree right here that Owl and I just stripped a bunch so that they couldn't use the tree cutter mod. And yeah, we were we were just sitting around here collecting each other's heads. So yeah, that was something. But moving over onto the aviary, yes, it's actually spelled A-B airy or something along those lines. Yeah, this was, I think, Ori's second build. I could be very wrong on that. But funny enough, there used to be a like honeycomb collector right here, a little farm. But ever since then, it's just turned into a hot tub. And we've had some good laughs around here. I specifically remember while I was trying to film the finale, there was just a bunch of arrows sitting around here. Silver and I were just messing around here. We were just shooting arrows into the bubble columns. But I believe there's still like a bunch of honeycomb around. Yeah, there's some here. Next thing that popped up, this was like one of the earliest builds, which is kind of surprising. I don't know actually how to get in here without triggering the illagers, but I mean, just looking at the outside, it is a genuine beauty to behold. Like, Beardo usually doesn't consider himself to be a builder, but I would argue that he's probably one of the best on here. He really does have a good sense of how like texturing works, especially with like stone like products. He really knows how to make a roof look. That actually, I've been trying to figure out how to do roofs like this ever since I saw him doing this, and I still don't quite have it down. It's such like an insane talent that he has. So it like the library and the library. Because I mean, there is an enchantment table. This is where the community enchantment table used to be. But the windmill, I guess, that like these two have always really, you know, wowed me and really inspired me to try and get better at building. You'll actually see some of that later. And yeah, we ended up, the nice thing with Beardo is that he doesn't mind destroying things for lore. So we broke a little hole into this, a little bit behind the scenes. Funny enough, Beardo was not actually around for a good majority of the filming. But yeah, we ended up carving this hole ourselves. I might fix this back up before the world download, but I'm basically just trying to decide whether or not I want to have like this piece of lore still sitting here. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask Beardo about that. I mean, it is his build, and it was supposedly him that did it. Here is another fantastic build by Ori. And again, you know, really creative use of trapdoors. I that is like one thing with Ori, is that she always knows how to use trapdoors and non-solid blocks. And I don't know. I really enjoy that. Like, who would think of like this? Just putting like a trapdoor all the way at the end here to give that little like bezel feeling. I don't know if that's the right word, but hopefully you know what I mean. And then also using a stone cutter and then 2 mangrove logs, which did they just come out at the time? I think they did just come out at the time. Originally, what was in here was just a cow crusher, but ever since people started getting a little more established with food, she kind of turned it into this fun little... How did she do this? Oh. What? I gotta ask her how she did that. That's really cool. But yeah, ironically, she put in a bunch of hog chops in here. Yes, these were made with hoglins, not pigs. So you can wipe the sweat off of your forehead. It's fine. I should probably talk about Beardo. I don't know how many of you guys will be able to figure out all the mods that we used, but if you have, I think the only major mods that you're gonna need for this is immersive paintings and what was it? Oh, fabric waystones. I think those are the 2 major things that you would need to view this world. I guess it's technically possible to view it without, but at least try to do the immersive paintings. Or at least, you know. But as you can see, you might have noticed that I kind of kept around with the Halloween decorations for a while, and then Ori kind of redecorated it for Christmas, and I was too lazy to fix it back again to its original state until, you know, the last episode when we were going to have a meeting in here, and I was like, it's probably going to be really weird if I still have Christmas decorations up. So I decided to revert this back to its first, you know, iteration. And I have to say, I am honestly really proud of this build. I haven't really used walls this much since then, but the main inspiration for the massive wall usage is actually the aviary over there, which you can see uses walls plenty. And I wanted to utilize that in this to give the outside some dimension while not crowding the inside. And I think it worked out okay. I think there's some bits that I did that I probably should have done a little better. But at this point in time, I was not great at building, and I still wasn't, you know, I barely knew redstone, which is actually funny to think about. This is his old tower. I still don't know how he managed to get this up this fast. I think I was here like the first day, and I think the second day, and it was here at some point during that time. Or it might have been done the first day. I'm not entirely certain. But I believe right here was our first nether portal. Silver took it down. I think it was probably just so we didn't have any major issues with the other nether portal that's on the other side of town. I think if he properly linked it together, it probably would have been fine, but he was probably getting tired of the noise anyway. Before I get too much into this area, I do want to look at Beardo's shop. Yes, this is the shop where I stole, or quote unquote, stole the frog lights. Now, funny enough, I actually ended up like, I think I did Beardo a favor once, or helped him with something, and then he offered some frog lights. This is out of story, by the way. And I used those, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna put into the story that I stole them, because that was the only way that it would make sense for me to have them. Also, I figured it would really set up some future lore points really easily. And Beardo, when I introduced that concept to him of me stealing the frog lice, he's like, just steal them. Just steal them. Like, actually just steal some from the shop. I don't know why. I already had some, but I'm like, okay. I'm not going to say no to free frog lights. And those frog lights actually end up helping out later when I was working in Swagtopia, but I'll show that off later. But yeah, right over here is Obi's old place, and honestly, I love the bamboo use here. I think this right here was the first use of bamboo on the server, period. And I love how he did a little garden around here, or maybe somebody else did that. I'm not entirely certain. But yeah, if we go up here, it has a lot of there's like a certain place in Star Wars that I feel like this might have been inspired off of, like using the jungle trees and having all of these like different levels to them. Maybe there's something along the... Oh yeah, oh, I forgot about these guys. Oh yeah, I believe one time we were messing around spawn. I think it was like Silver Orient at least, maybe Yevo too, and we had just Enderman around spawn. I think it was Silver who got an Enderman in a boat first, and then somehow we managed to get it up here. Why Obi's house, I don't even remember. But then the trend just kind of continued for us to get even more, because Enderman would just kind of teleport up here sometimes. But I forgot those guys were there. I forget what their names were. I know they have names of some sort, but I don't... Oh, yeah, Dave. Yeah, one of their name is Dave. I believe this is the original one. But that is funny. But on the inside here, I genuinely... look, I am a huge fan of, like, jungle greenery. You can see this a lot in my single-player videos. But, yeah, I mean, using this kind of, like, curved roofing... and then having like these brighter doors that kind of tell you where the exits are, and you know, having barrels with all these vines on them. It's not a very complex build, but it's a very vibey build, and I enjoy that a lot. I know this is kind of a vibe with me at this point, but I genuinely just love the vibes of this place. It's just, yeah, I could genuinely imagine like meditating here. This is nice. And here's actually my bell. I believe Beardo, or not Beardo, Obi had a bell up here first, but I decided to put it back because that was a memory that I had specifically of us filming and Obi gathering us all together for the enhanced Stronghold. That was fun. I really enjoyed filming all of the enhanced Stronghold segment, and yeah, I guess that's another place I'm gonna have to go. I didn't even think of that. But I guess I should probably... I know I'm going to be spending a lot of time in spawn, but there's a lot of story behind this place. And, I mean, there's a reason why it's still... Like, even after all of us have, like, gone our own separate ways, doing our own bases and nations, this place is still frequented quite a lot. But yeah, here's my place. I'm not going to get into this too much, because I did show it off in my finale, but I'm quite glad that I managed to fix it up. Here's the only piece of terraforming, or actually no, not the only piece, but like the only piece of terraforming that I did where I really genuinely put my all into it. And honestly, I still like it to this very day. As you can imagine, I did kind of get inspired off of Beardo over there. A, because I was trying to learn from him, and B, I just wanted to it to kind of match to a certain extent. But this is actually where I managed to figure out what Beardo's kind of general idea with texturing is here, because you'll notice as times, especially with the tuff here, that they're more like streaks, and what I would usually do is just kind of have them randomly dotted all over the place and not really have a continuous like stroke in the painting per se. I would just kind of spatter it. And this, like, I feel like learning this has just improved my building just so much. And I know that like Beardo is my enemy in the lore and what have you, but I really want to thank him for teaching me. Like, he didn't even ever directly teach me, but I still really appreciate him putting his heart into this spawn, just because I was able to learn from that, and that's really cool. Oh man, there's so much in this spawn. I haven't even fully realized that until now. But Zen's place right over here. Now I feel kind of sorry for Zen, because in the lore he just kind of is known as the guy who gets killed by Beardo. I think he was Beardo's only real casualty, if I remember correctly. Zen's place over here, this is his only real build on the server. This like small little area, but a genuinely well done. Like, the roof is nice. I tend not to use oak too much nowadays because I just have a hard time making it look good. But I mean, Zen made it fit right in with this, and even the interior to a certain extent is kind of neat. And it has all these different levels. I like how he put a bunch of anvils here just for in case one breaks. But and also this little wheel. I still love this design, like using the granite walls and the not the stone cutter, the grindstone. Man, I and the crane. There used to be an iron farm here, but at some point, I don't know, I never knew if this was supposed to be in the lore or not. It just kind of happened during one of the live streams where Yevo just kind of blew up the iron farm. He also made a little cave into here, but he wasn't able to get very far and before he had to deal with life stuff. And you guys might have seen a little present in the distance over here during some of my videos, some of the earlier videos, and that was actually supposed to be a present for Zen. And I just wanted him to be able to get back into the swing of things fairly quickly, because this was right after we managed to defeat the Ender Dragon, and I decided to give him Elytra and what have you, just so he can fly around as he wishes. And he was actually able to join for a little bit, but he never really got back into the series. And Zen, if you're watching this, I wish the best of luck to you, dude. But yeah, I guess we should probably actually get back to spawn. We'll get to the shop in a minute, but Grizz's place. This is actually probably one of the most recent additions. The shop might be as well. I'm not entirely certain. But Grizz, I'm going to be honest with you. I was kind of nervous around him at first. Just because he was a new face. And I'm okay, maybe that kind of just applies to everybody that I haven't met yet, really. I'm gonna have an interesting time in the new season trying to get to know everybody, but sometimes you just kind of have to, push through it, and you'll have those awkward times behind you, and you'll be able to, have good times with them. But Grizz, this was like basically his first build on the server, and even though he's only been playing Minecraft for a year, and keep in mind, he's only been playing Minecraft for like 1 or 2, maybe even 3 months when he built this, but I still appreciate the creativity of like using the trapdoors, having a fireplace. It manages to come across as really cozy, and I really appreciate that he put some greenery in here. I love the little honey lamps. But yeah, we'll definitely get to see more Grizz later. Here is Ori's barn. It was never really used for anything like lore wise, but I genuinely really appreciate this build being here. Just because it's like one of the like this general area is one of the coziest places on the server. Like I remember we just sat around the campfire here for a bit, and we were just talking about nonsense essentially. And I genuinely love the look of mangrove along with the deep slate and the mud and the not the tuff, the dripstone, and yeah, just more of what makes Ori a great builder. I'm gonna be honest with you. I put more effort into this place than I probably should have. Because I knew from the get-go that this place was going to be destroyed. It was literally built to be destroyed. But I thought it would be really funny to make Ori hate destroying this while doing, you know, her lore thing. And yeah, I did kind of accomplish that, if I remember correctly. Ori was like expecting this like shack, like kind of what Beardo did with the frog lights over there. She wasn't expecting like an entire building. But honestly, I still genuinely love some of the stuff I did with the sloth slop shop, mostly the redstone, but I genuinely did like some of the building as well. But I'm so glad that I ended up making this, you know, one of those things Ori could just like have at in terms of destruction, because you really feel it here. Just that sense of like emptiness and abandonment and destruction. So here's Yevo's place. Not gonna lie, for like the very first bit, he's kind of what kept me fed for the beginning of the series, this giant wheat field. And he also has a little composter in here, very nice, before Baloo took over bone meal and white dye and what have you. But I genuinely thought it was a really nice idea to have like a giant wheat field by the coast. Now, I genuinely love Owl's building style. She just has such a good idea of like how to use colors, like the red with the brown and then the green. This is just such a satisfying build to look at, and she really knows how to bring in the landscape in along with that build. That's probably something that I should probably learn. And, you know, it's a lot of these little things that really can bring a build together and really bring you into the world of this building. And I really appreciate that. This is like always a really nice piece of eye candy to look at if you're passing by. You know what? I'm gonna show off Le Shack for a moment. Le Shack is probably like the most scuffed thing that we have ever done on the server. But this is essentially the old skeleton grinder. I did show this off in my last video for a little bit, but I just remember we took like 2 hours setting this up, and Silver was trying to get like an auto sorter going. I was still trying to learn the redstone at the time for an auto sorter, while I think Beardo was working on the skeleton grinder here. And I don't know what it is with this place. I just remember it for being just such a goofy place where we got up to so much mischief. Like, I remember in, what was it, episode 2.5? In Vibos, we just ended up, you know, going down and bothering Owl while she was just trying to get XP, and we were just teasing at her. And then we just left instantly with just no explanation. Here is where we would record the podcast. Yes, the mics were a lie. It's just retextured amethyst buds. I believe I was it Obi? No, I forget. No, it was either, I think it was Grizz and Beardo who worked on like the custom models and stuff. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm kind of embarrassed to listen to the episodes when I'm in them, which I've been in both episodes, because I just feel like I make an embarrassment out of myself. Especially since I have a really hard time figuring out when somebody's done speaking. And also, whenever I'm passionate about something, I'm a little too passionate, so I will end up being like the outspoken person in the room. Like I think in this last episode, I was talking about shields for like for a solid minute, and I know that that's mostly just an opinion that I share. But yeah, back here, I genuinely just love the feel of this place. It's very airport feeling, and just like it's like a break room in an airport, which I guess kind of fits the vibe pretty well. But yeah, we have Barry Baza, which I don't know if that's a reference to something or not. We have this famous picture of me being jealous, I guess. But you know, we have all of these sandwiches, and that's kind of where the meme of I don't know if you guys know this meme all that much, but if you've seen Silver's videos, you will see that he has like a Cuban sandwich in place of like cooked pork chop, and that mostly just came from this, where he just wanted to buy Cubans. I can't really entirely explain that. I don't think I was there for all of it, but he had a tendency of just like asking me for Cubans, or asking me for a sandwich or something like that. And I still don't completely understand why, but it was pretty funny. But yeah, here is where we would do some green screen work. Mostly just for the other nobles to use. I never really use this place because I'm not usually all that editing heavy. I never really used this place, but I'm sure it got used at some point. In fact, I think there was an Ori video that I know got like used that place at some point. But yeah, is that all of spawn? Yeah, I guess that's it. So where do I even go? I think I'm gonna go to Beardo's first. I don't know why. That's just the thing that's going on in my head, so I'm just gonna do it. So Beardo's garden. I'm just gonna say this right off the bat. This place is just crazy, and it's finished too. Two different sides of the coin. Me, like with Swagtopia, I didn't even finish, and Beardo, like, even though he had this giant cliff. Which, by the way, this cliff used to just be the foundation of the mansion, and it just went all the way down. And Beardo decided that he was going to carve it out, turn it into like a mountainside with like this river going through it. And I genuinely am just astonished in how quickly he managed to do this. Ah, yes, the Sniffer Garden, where sniffers would pick up stuff and Lays would just return it to the note blocks where a hopper would, you know, collect it and what have you. I genuinely love how Beardo managed to make this place look natural, but also practical. It's nice. That's going to be a lot of my thoughts during this tour. It's just like, that's really cool. The inside of this place, I still get lost in. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. Can I just? Yeah, there we go. Don't tell Beardo. But the inside of this place is genuinely so imaginative for the concept of a woodland mansion being taken over by nature and also being like a haven for allays, which is why there's a dance floor here, I think. But, you know, there's holes everywhere, which actually makes this place much easier to navigate. And I love these, like, cute little mushrooms that he sometimes has some of the allays, you know, housing in. This is just a really well thought out place, and I still don't know how he managed to do it this quickly. At least, like, from my point of view, it seemed like he did this in, like, 1 to 2 nights. And I don't know how he works that fast. I'm a pretty slow builder, admittedly, but still, that is insane. I just want to emphasize this one last time. Beardo, you're an amazing builder, dude. I genuinely love what you've done with this place. Should I go to Ori's Market next? I think so, yeah. This place is genuinely just really cool. There's so much there's so many little details around this place. Like, there's like an XP shower here. Does this work? Okay, I didn't actually absorb any of that. My armor did. Oops. But, you know, it's little stuff like this. There's, I believe this is a viewer of hers, Primal Claw. But it's little things like this that just really bring this place to life and really give that little spark of joy. And I love how she put all this variation into each of the buildings in terms of shape. I specifically remember helping Ori build this little road. I was invisible, just playing a random part. And she just started making a road. And I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna like do the little bits behind her, try and replicate what she was doing. I believe we managed to get this road done in almost all in one stream, or at least a good majority of it. And very recently, we did this other road that leads all the way to a zoo. I'll get to that later, but like we actually did that in one stream too, and then we eventually got joined in by like Grizz and Kate, and it was just that was a really fun stream. I really enjoyed being in that. But here's Ori's house, where Hamilton and Tater Tot are. Let's just say this place is frozen in time before, let's say just like immediately after the meeting. That's what I would like to think. But yeah, she has some storage down here. We've messed with her a couple times in this place, I'll admit. I remember watching a lot of her streams, trying to do her little like rainbow challenges. And I would remember after doing a night shift, I would basically take a shower, make some breakfast, and I would tune in to an Ori stream, and she would be like around here or something. And I love that. I loved Ori's streams. She's just a very sweet and nice, and she's a great person. And she helped me a lot when trying to fit into this group, and I really appreciate that. I'm not very good at like speaking my thoughts at the moment. This was Ori's poisonous potato farm. It's admittedly not very fast, but that's mostly because poisonous potatoes are just not easy to grow. She just used poisonous potatoes as like item filters. It was just kind of a meme with her, which I respect the dedication to the meme. I'll be honest with you there. But past here is one of Ori's like most recent achievements. Can I come through here? I think I can. That's pretty neat. But yeah, here is Ori's little zoo. I remember at some point when we were building this, or well, when she was building this and I was just kind of around at the time, I think, Ori ended up accidentally shooting a horse, and we made a little grave for it back here. Rip Kyle, Jeremy, Rodney. I believe it was Baloo's, and he was, playing around, being upset, and just like making fun of us, mostly Ori, because she was the actual perpetrator. But I was just kind of teasing Baloo along with Ori, so he got on to me as well. It was funny. So I don't know why this is here specifically, but apparently this statue is also supposed to be Beardo. But if you look at this like a helmet, you kind of see Zazuma, so I thought it was like Zazuma flexing. I will show off the ice cave. I as much as I would love to like tour around this place, I don't know as well as Ori does, and I would probably just be talking a bunch of nonsense and not do it justice. But look at this place. She bought a good deal of my ice in order to do this, as you could probably imagine, and it came out just so cool. Like I love the darker lighting, and I just this has a vibe that I wanted to get to in Swagtopia at some point, having like an ice cave, but I just never really got around to it. Blink did it a little bit, but not really either. It was just like an ice ceiling as part of an aesthetic choice, and Ori actually managed to make the ice cave come, to come to life. So thank you, Ori. You realized an aspect of Swagtopia better than I did. Don't ask me what the glass dome over here is about. I don't know. So we're at Silver's base. Not a whole lot in terms of builds, but the few builds that are here, I genuinely love a lot. He really knows his colors. Let's just say that. Like the red with the tan with the green. Like maybe I just really like tan, or not tan and green, red and green together. Plus the deep slate. And also just the shape of this place is just really pleasing to the eye, and I really like it a lot. I really like Silver's submarine design as well. It's not too hard to build, so you can kind of build it again and again anywhere you wish. It has that steampunky aesthetic that he was really trying to go for, and it's just like, it's such a Minecrafty submarine. Like if someone asked me to make a submarine in Minecraft, like this is what I would probably try to achieve, but like fail doing. And Silver actually managed to make that a reality, so props to you, dude. And over here, this place also kind of reminds me of my grandmother's old place. Just has that old building feeling aesthetic to it. And I like how he just like put machinery on the side of it, so it looks like an old house that like had to adapt to the time, so that they just like had machines stuck onto it, which is just a fun idea of like world building to me. Why is Subby's head here? But yeah, he sold, oh wow, he sold a good amount of string, my goodness. But also I doubt he sold a single spider eye. I'm sorry, Silver. Obviously, this place uses green a lot, so obviously I'm gonna like it. But I also just love his attention to detail. Like, I would have never thought of putting like signs like this to do, I don't even know what you'd call this, but just that little like spit of color, and then also using blast furnaces like this to represent machinery. It's such a fun building to look at, even though it's like very simple in concept. Holy smokes, that I do not remember seeing that. But yeah, this is Jay's place. Apparently they decided to go ham with some terraforming over here. Man, everybody's so much faster at building than I am. But this place is like genuinely pretty to look at. It's very almost surreal looking meadow. Like a meadow you would see in like a movie, very dreamy. We spent like a good deal of time just like chit-chatting while getting rid of some of the terrain around here, because if you don't know, Squirtle Kitty, Jay's +1, really likes digging, apparently. So yeah, she and Jay just went ham on this project. And even though it's unfinished, it's still just really insane to look at this place. I mean, they dug all of this. Okay, we helped a little bit, but I mean, they dug all of this out, which is so insane. And then also, not to mention, the buildings in themselves, a really nice amount of detail. It's kept consistent throughout all of the buildings to a certain degree. And I believe this is like, what, the sugarcane shop or something along those lines? And I did come by here a couple of times to buy some sugarcane. I believe it was like in this building or something where I just ended up, making a deal with Jay to have his head, because I was kind of an avid head hunter at the time. I kind of fell off of it not that long after. Now, you guys might not be able to guess this, but I have kind of an affinity for pink, and I think Dot J and Squirtle used pink very tastefully here, and this is just a very pretty place to look at, even if it's not finished. So, Grizz's Spruce Nation. Beardo head unrelated. It's just something fun and stupid that we did. It was just like give Beardo a little offering, like I'll give him a baked potato or something like that. But in any case, this place, I know it's like there are some places where the technical building isn't, you know, the most amazing thing ever, but keep in mind, Grizz has only been, you know, playing Minecraft for like a year. I would not have even begun to do something like this in my first year of playing Minecraft. And the fact that he was able to do all this is just awesome. Like, I love how he used the waterfall here. Like, it just really gives that lagoon type of vibe. It reminds me of like certain like water rides, like when you're waiting in line to go to a water ride. It gives me that feeling. I saw a bit of fan art by Perpetual where it was commenting on Grizz's sign right here, and I'm not gonna lie, this sign got me to giggle the first time too. And like this, I almost called it the aviary because that's so stuck in my head now. But this honey place, I don't know, is genuinely pretty, like inside and out. I love the use of a cherry tree in here, and it's just cool whenever you see all the bees buzzing about. Thankfully, they're kind of inside now, so it's a bit more safe for me to be in here, just so I don't accidentally let one out. But when they're all popping out, it's so insane and surreal, and also really fun to be in there. There's also some bits over here that I genuinely just love building wise. Like this has that classic, you know, cabin vacation feel to it. And like I remember one time, and now we had tents for this, but we had this pretty decent sized group in this like pretty decent sized like camping ground. At the time, it was like my family, some family friends and their kids. I was a kid at the time, and so on and so forth. And while these are not tents, it kind of accomplishes that same vibe for me. So yeah, thanks for letting me relive that, Grizz. So, Rich's ship. Now, he tends to rag on his own build a lot, saying like, oh, Subby's ship is, you know, so much better, and yada yada yada. I don't care. This, like, Rich's ship here, and don't get me wrong, Subby's ship is also really nice as well, but Rich's ship, I just really love the colors of. I like it when darker colors are balanced out with whiter colors. It has that nice contrast. And you have these bamboo bits that really bring out the silhouette of the ship. I love what he did with the sails, that he made them look so much more billowy with the snow and the texturing. And I just like, whenever I'm on the ship, and especially, oh my gosh, when we were filming the finale, I felt like we were a genuine crew on this ship, and like I love that so much. Why is there a seagull here? Maybe it's a representation of how Rich just wants to give attitude to the world. I don't know. And I don't know. I still don't know why Rich just has his face here. Oh, that's a Toy Story ball right there. And I can't tell if that's like a toy or a bag of M&Ms. Okay, I probably shouldn't be looking at this closely. But in any case, I love the vibes of this ship so much. It's so much fun to be on here, even without anybody. But like when there's other people on here, man, you just feel that pirate and like just captain ship, like naval aesthetic just shining through. It was so cool. I kind of wish we had spent more time on this ship, like a mini One Piece arc. I think that would have been a lot of fun, just having characters, you know, interact on this ship, because I've always wanted to like have characters on a ship. But in any case, but yeah, Subby also did some work back here, kind of some world building bits. This is where the ships kind of come from, I think, or maybe it's just this ship. And I love how he like did the sail like to the side a little bit, and just how this is like a slightly smaller ship, but it has that same amount of detail. For this place, there's not much on the inside, but in terms of the outside, man, it really accomplishes what it was trying to be, which is kind of like a pseudo lighthouse thing on the beach. And I love how it has very little weight towards the bottom, but like it's like has that weight in the middle and then meets back up at the top, and that really coastal feeling palette that he has going on here is just it's really fun to look at in the distance. And when you're standing here, just seeing the ships go off into the fog, granted this is part of a mod that I have that I just used to bring out the aesthetics of certain things, but just like seeing the ships off in the distance, kind of like almost going into the fog a little bit, man, is that atmospheric. Oh, and this I never visited. I saw in in like chats of Discord of this picture being here. I don't know how this fits with the place thematically. Maybe there's like some lore bits that I don't really know about. But I mean, even lore aside, this sword just looks freaking cool. I wish I could make a sword like this. Maybe I could if I just put in the study and the time, but that doesn't change the fact that this is just really cool, and it's on the top of this mountain with like nothing, almost nothing obscuring your vision. It's cool having this up here. Definitely one of my favorite portal designs I've seen in recent times. I just recorded a whole bit of Yevo's and realized I had the recording paused the entire time. Oops. But in summary, I'm gonna be honest with you, lore-wise, I don't really know the story behind a lot of these places, and I accidentally made an Enderman angry. Oops. But in any case, I really enjoy some of the country-esque feeling that I get from this place. This just reminds me of like a location in Red Dead Redemption 2, and I didn't play that much of the game, but man, I really enjoyed the vibes that it gave off, and this is giving me some of those vibes, and I like it. It's a fun place to be around. Over here, I believe we have a smeltery and then his house. What I was saying before I realized that I paused my recording was that I really enjoy the shape of this place. Like, even I love how the chimney is crooked. That's just such a fun little characteristic that I love about that. It's very country feeling, and it has like these bits of water, the camels, and it even has one of these little hideaway like storage places here. And I remember I was helping out a family friend, and I was working in a place very similar to this. I don't remember. I think I was like messing around with tools or something, or hay, or doing some menial task. And I was just kind of chilling out, listening to some like classical guitar music with no lyrics or whatever. And I was just like, I had one earbud out, and I was just like hearing music, or not music, wind just whistling by me here. And I was just appreciating like how much warmer it was right here than outside. Now, it wasn't snowing, but it was a pretty cold wind chill for Texas. I'm tempted to show you guys this myself, but I kind of want you guys to, that's one thing I want you guys to figure out in the world download itself. But to give you guys context, this was for Yevo's birthday. So we're actually going to take this boat over to Ursarosea. If you're wondering where that kind of is, it's actually in the direction where Beardo is. I think I made another stopper specifically for Baloo. Yes. And this will kind of take us down the timeline of what he saw. And like where he decided to first develop and what have you. I think he was like about to watch football when I talked to him the first time. I remember that specifically. I was with Ori. Ori was kind of like my emotional support person to meet a new person, as per the usual, I guess. But yeah, this was Baloo's first build, and man, I love it in here. First off, all the foliage. Yes, I know. I'm a foliage lover, and I love how much he used the oak logs. You don't see this much use of it all that often, and I don't know. It makes it feel very homey. It kind of has that apartment vibe almost, which is weird. Because it has like leaves and all of it. It's like a very aesthetic apartment almost. I don't know how else to describe it. My brain's kind of going dead. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, the S. I think Silver was around too, and he just decided to put a random S here just because I don't know. This is Ursarosea proper, and I have to say, even though Baloo is like one of the newest members on the server, I think he came along with Rich, essentially. Man, did he manage to get like a whole nation just done. Like, a lot of the people on the server just have a speed that I just cannot achieve. It has a lot of that country medieval, almost like with a touch of fantasy vibe to it, and like there, like I discussed it in, what was it, episode 10, but I just, the vibes that I get from this place and just like the wholeness, like this really feels like a finished nation. And maybe it's probably just because mine is probably the least finished. Because I'm just a slow worker. I apologize. But yeah, just like even having this like fishing dock area here where you can like buy stuff, this really feels like its own little world, and I love that. I love Ursarosea so much. But like the outside of Ori's market, this is basically the other place that we would hang out in a lot. Do I get damaged if I'm in this? I do. I did not know that. I'm not very good at like rapid firing, like describing all of these things. Like he even has a little like canoe here. It's a lot of these like little details, I think, that really makes this place feel lived in. And maybe that's something that I should really remember going forward. So this is Obi's base. Yep, a lot of farms. Obi had a lot of exports that relied on farms. It did cause the server to lag a little bit, and hopefully we can kind of tone that down next season. Part of it was kind of my fault because the storage system down here has a lot of exposed hoppers. I specifically remember working at the storage system down here where we kind of just interlaced hoppers all over the place, and now thankfully this didn't like go all the way to whatever. We had like some droppers for like waterways and whatnot. They didn't go all the way to the storage, but it's still something. It's just this area is still not all that optimized, and that's partially my fault. Apologies. But yeah, you know, you live and you learn. But aside from that, I really enjoyed some of the little bits that Obi did with his treehouse base, where he just really nailed that canopy feel. Like, especially walking this hallway here, you have all these trapdoors all over the place. It's just cool. And he never really finished the temple, but I saw some of the concepts that he was looking at, and I loved helping him out with this little project. I helped him out in a couple of places around here while we just chit-chatted. This base also has a lot of memories made. Like, I remember us messing with the bamboo farm, and we had to finagle around with this thing so much to get this thing working. But yeah, in any case, there's probably more thoughts that I have on this place, but I'm not very good at collecting them, so why don't we go to the Stronghold? Oh man, I forgot how long these stairs were. But for those who don't know, it was mainly Ori, Beardo, Obi, and I who worked on this place. As you can imagine, I think Beardo did this bit along with Ori. I didn't really actually know how bookshelves worked at the time, but this room was all Ori and Beardo. And I forget if this is open. Yes. But yeah, they like to play with like the comparator stuff quite a bit while making this. I thought the idea of having like a buffed up zombie in here was a really fun idea. I nearly died to it when we were filming. I was surprised. I think it was partially because I think I still had my elytra on or something along those lines. But I generally love, like nature in a library, like sign me up. Huge Harry Potter vibes. Going over into here, we get to the Library of Dominion. I forget what its official name is, but I built this with Obi, and Beardo and Ori were actually able to help us out with this a lot, which I really appreciated because I was getting a bit of like artist block or builder's block with this place, and I think Obi was getting that a little bit as well. And yeah, I think they kind of were able to push us into gear and keep this going. I did kind of have some plans for like why these were chained up, but I kind of ended up scrapping it because there was just no way to really fit it into the story here. But I really enjoyed the role play that I did while we did this place. I love playing the scared character quite a lot, and especially when I was like punched down here. My character hates it, but I genuinely love that Beardo punched me down here. I don't know if he, like, I was kind of sitting on the edge here, just kind of looking down. I was kind of like half inviting him to punch me off, which I don't know if he punched me off because he wanted to, or if like he saw the invitation, but you know, he went for it. And how did I not get stuck when filming that? Oh, that was really fortunate. But you know, it got me like face to face with, you know, the doom of the server, which admittedly there are some things with the books that we never ended up doing. It was still really a lot of fun to roleplay this. The major themes of the books we never really got to. Like we were planning on having some people being for like Unity and some people being for Dominion, and there would be like some conflict or something along those lines. But we just never got around to that. The concept of the explosion, I think that was Obi's idea, and also the idea for the redstone was also Obi. I was still learning redstone at the time, and also I have a hard time getting inside of other people's heads when it comes to technical stuff. I can do technical stuff just fine myself, but looking at other people's stuff, it really does take me a minute to figure out what they're doing. And it didn't help that I was still kind of a redstone noob at the time. I'm still not that great at it, but you know, I'm better now. Swagtopia. Yeah, I didn't really get that much finished, did I? Now, I guess part of it is because it's just like visually, it's very empty. You know, there's a lot of holes in this place, but I feel like I just generally didn't quite accomplish as much as some of the other nobles. And you know what? I'm generally okay with that. I've always been more of a slow pace kind of guy. And that's just how I play. But in terms of this place itself, I do wish I was able to get to more. Maybe I'll be able to get some concepts that I was thinking of for Swagtopia into bases in the future, maybe in my single player world or a future season of Nations and Nobles. We'll never know. But I do want to say a couple of words on this place. Namely, I don't, as much as I like this place in of itself, the bulk storage area, it doesn't really fit in with the majority of the place. Like, this has kind of like a dingy, almost dwarvish, like steampunky vibe to it. I don't even know what I was going for. And then the rest of it is like clean. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Deep Slate, I think it was mostly just because Deep Slate was all I had on hand, and I kind of made a prototype in a creative world, not really fully knowing what I wanted to do with Swagtopia just yet, and yeah, this place didn't quite fit in. But if you look at it in isolation, it kind of looks nice. But in any case, this place, I really like this room, not gonna lie. I love it whenever I can just jam pack a room with redstone and also kind of hide it away and make it just kind of seem like something else. And this is definitely one of those rooms where, like, if you don't eat or like pull out a bow or something, you wouldn't even know like all of this storage exists. And I like this ender pearl dispenser actually came in handy a lot more than I thought it would, because, you know, it's always nice to have a perfect stack, and yeah, I always knew where to get more. That's the nice thing about this. It's a landmark in the base where I knew to get ender pearls. Over here, I'm glad that I was able to turn this around in episode 10, because like it started off as a build that I wasn't really all that passionate about. And then I was finally able to turn around and figure out what I wanted to do with this place and figure out some priorities. And yeah, I feel like even though this was the only place where you get to see that mall aesthetic that I had partially planned for Swagtopia, because there was definitely going to be more of this aesthetic downstairs, which you'd be able to get through down here. I'm kind of sad that I wasn't able to really explore that, but it's fine. And oh yeah, the golf course. I actually fully finished it. I actually did play it a couple of times. The theoretical lowest score, at least before I made some changes, I would probably have to retest it again to get a more accurate thing, but quite frankly, I don't care to at this very moment in time. But the lowest accurate, the lowest score you can get, at least at that time, was like 16, like doing all of these in a row. And I actually managed to get 18, which, not perfect, but I mean, I'm still pretty happy with that score. For the few people that did play this golf course, this was like generally the favorite, which I kind of had a feeling it was going to be. It actually has a sense of place, and it also just, you know, it has the 3 different pathways that you can choose from, and it has a lot of what I love about mini golf in this one level. But this bit is entirely new. I managed to figure some stuff out on the last episode, but grand majority of this is new. Yes, I did manage to finish the golf course. So I will play this for probably one last time. Ideally, you'll want to kind of stay on top. That will be where you can have the most advantage, and you will be able to have the least strokes, but it's really hard to stay on top. So like 95% of the time, you're going to end up going below, like I just did. But basically, once you go down here, it's basically like smashes every single concept from the earlier courses into one course. Like this thing over here. Instead of being a T flip-flop, it's actually completely random which way this thing goes, in which case it actually went out of this one. And then you can go to over here, And this is probably like one of the most satisfying parts of this course, like using the bubble vader to go up. That's just fun to me. And it's also like you have to really get yourself in the right position to do it. So yeah, you can get yourself back up. Apparently I have done this hole a couple of times without taking the potatoes out. I don't know why I just default to the potatoes. I just do. But I think that is, well, okay, maybe not everything. There's still a couple of things with this world that that belong to like past members and things that I would just generally suggest that you guys take a look around. So for everybody that is mostly just interested in the world tour and nothing else, probably a good time for you to leave just about now. But I did want to do a double feature of comments of the day because I did kind of miss episode 10 because episode 11, I just wanted to completely focus on the lore. But yeah, that's why we're going to have a double feature today. This one is for episode 10 by My Toaster Died. Thank you for sticking around for so long, by the way. What if you split up the 40-minute videos into two 20-minute videos? And the main reason for that is that I just generally don't really think about the time for the videos all that much until like I have the final edit done. Then like I'll try to see if I can cut anywhere that I can to try and shorten it up, make sure that the pacing is all right. Admittedly, for episode 10, I didn't really have much time to polish it up. I like edited the final bits literally the night before the video went up, and I had to work the next morning, so I didn't really have time on that. Maybe I should have not put myself in a situation where I, had to do that. Maybe I should have took an extra week to finish. There's a lot of things to be said about that video, and yeah, I feel like I should have just took the time to get the edit down a little better. But in terms of like splitting the video up, I just feel like it wouldn't feel like a very complete video to me, because I just wouldn't be satisfied with that progress for that one video, if that makes any sense. It wouldn't feel like a full video to me. It would just feel like a half video. And I know that's probably just me, but I mean, at the end of the day, YouTube is definitely like a creative fulfillment thing for me, so that's just something that I like to do there. But yeah, there is something to be said about the video being a little bit too long. And for episode 11, this one's more about lore by Cackle. I sort of wish that there was some additional time on the ship to give everyone time to interact with each other and possibly bond, but I have enjoyed the story. I hope things like the stone are expanded upon next season. Story aside, I must compliment the editing credits, a very fitting song choice, and a visual style that complements it. I also appreciate that you put community members in it as well. It is a good feeling. Yeah, for the first bit of that, I actually was thinking about that when I made the comment on Rich's ship. Like, I wish we kind of had a longer time to kind of get everybody to know each other. Like, people like Blue and Rich didn't really get that much development, at least from my end, which is partially my fault, I feel like. I mean, yes, they're the two newest members, but I struggled to find a good time to put them in, either because of pacing reasons or just because I didn't have any imports. But I feel like I should have included them in more story events, just so we can have interactions outside of just trading. And I feel like the ship would have been a good time to do that, but we were kind of in a rush to get the story ended for various reasons. But I'm not going to get too much into that at the minute, because that's going to be a whole other conversation that you guys are probably not that interested in hearing. I do want to get more lore-driven character interactions, and like maybe just character interactions that are, just us hanging out or something along those lines, where you get to understand both characters a bit more. Just, character building, But with the second part of that comment, yes, the credits. So part of the credits, I wanted to do partially just to acknowledge everybody. And B, I wanted to really get a vibe across, a theatrical vibe. C, I've always wanted to do a credits sequence that has that sort of feeling, and I felt like it was pretty fitting considering how the world ended and how everything is, super mysterious and what have you. D, I wanted to put secrets in there. The secrets are already kind of out now with the trailer for season 2 now out, but there were 2 secrets in the end credit sequence. If you guys want to find them still, that's up to you. But funny enough, the person who commented this, Cackle, actually did message me in the Discord saying that he found one of the secrets. I love putting secrets in things. It's definitely one of those things that I got inspired by FNAF. Scott Cawthon's little teasers to the fans, like trying to hint towards next games and whatnot. I just genuinely love that, so I wanted to put that in the credits as well. Now, putting the viewers in the credits thing, I that was a genuine pleasure to do. I think I speak for all the nobles when I say that we heavily appreciate you guys supporting us and, watching our stuff and being interested in the lore. So, like, some of you even like making art and, trying to theorize certain bits, like what's going to happen next. It's really humbling, and it's just really awesome to be a part of this. And we have you guys to thank for a good majority of it to a certain extent. And I just really wanted to take all the viewers I had in my comments, in my live streams, and some of the Discord. I know that I probably missed some people, and I heavily apologize for it, because I really wanted to get the credits done before we started filming, just so I could get it done, and so I can focus on filming, so I can get it out on time. I still only barely got it out on time, funny enough. I was still editing the night before. But in terms of that, yeah, just thank you guys for watching. It was an absolute pleasure. But yeah, thank you for the comments. My toaster died, and Cackle. At least I think that's how you pronounce the name, Cackle, right? Well, I'm assuming the 4 is Leet, but like Leet speak, if anyone remembers that. But yeah, have a good one, and I'll see you in either the survival world or season 2. It depends on what happens there. But yeah, have a good one.